Hello and welcome to AJ 100, Introduction to Law Enforcement and Criminal Justice. I'm your instructor, David Wilkinson. You can call me Mr. Wilkinson. If you checked out our Meet the Instructor page or the introduction section of our class, you'll know I'm a deputy with the Orange County Sheriff's Department. I won't go into too much of my background because that's already available in a different video. So I want to get straight into our class today. But I look forward to taking this class with you. This is going to be a great semester. It's obviously all online, so we won't get the opportunity, unfortunately, to meet face-to-face, but I look forward to interacting with you online. And I encourage you to be interactive, be participatory. Reach out to me if you have any questions, message me. Let's interact as best we can, even through this online format. So this is where we're at. Module 1, first class. You'll notice that I break up our classes into multiple videos, right? So instead of just one, 2-hour video, I kind of break it up into multiple videos. And you'll actually notice, if you're perceptive, some of these videos were recorded previously. So some of these videos are from last semester when I taught this same class. And so I thought I did a pretty good job in the previous class. So I was like, oh, I'm going to save some of that stuff or reuse some of those videos from last semester. So some videos will be new, fresh instruction. Other videos will be reused from previous. I had some guest speakers last semester that were really good. And so I recorded those classes with the guest speakers, and we'll reuse those videos as well. So there'll be a mix of videos, new, some old, some reused. But as you'll see, I'm going to, for the most part, try to break it up into smaller sections, smaller chunks. So you're not, you don't necessarily have to sit in front of a computer and watch a 2-hour lecture or a 2-hour class. You could kind of break it up into smaller sections, take a break, and hopefully that's easier for you to get all the information. So this is our first video. You'll notice we do have several videos in this module. So I encourage you to watch all of them. As you know from our syllabus overview and our class overview, you do need to take notes. You will be turning those notes in, the lecture notes. So if you haven't gotten your notes ready, pause the video, go get some note paper, or however you want to do it. I don't care if you want to write it out, pencil, paper, pen, paper, if you want to type it on the computer while you're watching. It doesn't matter to me at all. The notes are obviously for you, but you do need to take notes, and you will turn those notes in. So if you do old school, just pen and paper, write it down on paper, however you want to do it in a notebook, that's totally fine. Then what you'll probably do is just take a picture of it with your phone at the end of the semester, and then that's how you'll, or not at the end of the semester, but when your notes are due, they're going to be due 4 times throughout the semester, actually 3 times throughout the semester. Then you could just turn in your notes that way. So however you want to do it, again, doesn't matter to me. The important part is that you do take notes, and you take notes on each video. Okay, so you'll want to kind of put a little header on your notes, be like, okay, this is video 1, couple, little notes here, video 2, few notes here, video 3, few notes here. That way I can see that you watched all the videos and you took notes on all the videos. So that's kind of the purpose of that, and to keep us all on the same page, make sure we're all connected with everything. So like I said, first class, this is our first module. In module 1, we're covering chapter 4 and chapter 5. So I wanted to do that. Chapter 1 and chapter 2 to kind of talk about the history of law enforcement, and we'll get into that in the next module. But before we get to the history, I kind of wanted to just start with, where are we at today? What's going on today in law enforcement? And if you are paying attention at all to anything that's going on in your community and society in the news, there's a lot going on with criminal justice and law enforcement today. I mean, a ton, more than I could talk about in this little introduction. But if you just consider the last year, we've had protests against law enforcement. We've had riots. Even just a couple weeks ago, we had a protest and riot at our nation's capital, where the Capitol Police were involved. But that's, over there in Washington, had to deal with federal police. Here in our local community, we've had protests, right here in Anaheim, Fullerton, Placentia, Santa Ana. We had several protests over the last year, and some of those that turned into rioting and looting and different things, and the police were involved and all kinds of things, right? We had several police shootings in the last year, several which made the news, right? A lot of them made the news. We've had several use of force issues. several police officers losing their jobs, others not losing their jobs, all kinds of things happening in today. And that's why this is a great time to take this class. So I commend you for taking this class, whether you have interest in becoming a police officer in the future, which some of you might, most of you probably don't, based on my previous classes. I know not everybody wants to be a cop, and that's totally fine. I'm glad you're in the class for whatever reason you're taking the class. Some people want to be lawyers. Excellent way to start. Get this class and find out a little bit about the introduction to our criminal justice system, what it's all about, and how law enforcement works. Some of you might just be really passionate about police reform or even defunding police. Some of you guys might even have that bumper sticker on your car, like, hey, I want to defund the police. That's okay. We'll talk about that too. So a lot of different things to cover that are current and relevant and interesting today. So I'm glad you're in this class, and that's what we'll cover. So that's chapter 4. We're going to get into today's police and police agency and kind of cover an overview of that. I do want to mention while I'm at it, with the current events, you are going to have current event assignments. So be sure to check out the assignment tab here in our first module. It is a current event. So you're going to need to select an article that's relevant to law enforcement. It should not be difficult at all. Law enforcement, police are in the news all the time, right? So shouldn't have an issue finding a good article that's interesting and relevant to our studies of criminal justice. And you can write a little current event report on that. So I look forward to reading those. I'm going to end this video, and then the next video we'll get into the beginning of chapter 4. So I look forward to continuing our studies together.